Welcome, Bobcat Nation, to another edition of our Coach's Corner. With me in this edition is Gavin, Donaldson, head coach of the men's soccer team. Gavin, thanks for being here. I know Coach Skiles interviewed you last week, I think early in the week, but we got a lot to get caught up on here today in our 10-minute allotment. So let's go back to the end of the regular season. I know I always put more emphasis on this than you do, but Charleston came to town, the number one team in the nation. You guys got a point out of them, a 0-0 draw. A couple very good chances to win that game. You actually scored a goal in overtime, but the officials said we were offsides and disallowed it. But what were your thoughts about getting the point in that game?
Yeah, it was an outstanding game. Really, it was well played. Both teams had the chance to win it. You know, I'm not sure that either team outplayed the other. It was just a very well played game, and hopefully enjoyable for fans to watch. For us, certainly the point meant a lot. Not necessarily for the points, although that did help in the end.
It did help in the end, right?
Things cleaner for us to get second, but really more just for the continued development of our psyche that, you know, we are as good, we can play with them. So I think that was important. You know, the goal that we scored, the corner went out of bounds first before it came back in. And that was really what the call was for. And it's hard to argue that. We're not in a position to see that, but the AR was right on it. So it was just a matter of when the service came in, it went out of bounds first, and then curled back into play. So
I'm not disputing what they said, but everyone was getting ready to rush the field. The flag went up offside.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it would be that way with that kind of a game. But yeah, outstanding game. I mean, a great opponent. You know, there's a reason they're number one in the country, and they played that game without a couple of their top players too. And I realized that and knew that, but. You know, still they're so deep with players that it's still a valuable game for us to have gotten a point from.
Right. You closed off the regular season with another shootout at William Jesuit, and kind of to put a bow tie on it, like you said, that point leapfrogged you guys over Notre Dame. It ended any messy tiebreaker situations or anything like that. You guys were outright the number 2 team in the conference, which means you got to host the semifinal matchup. And we'll move on to that. Urbana came into town Wednesday. We were a little sluggish in maybe the first 15 minutes, didn't end that half so well, but 3 goals in that second half, and we really kind of righted the attack in that second half.
Yeah, it's Urbana the last 2 times they've played us have figured out a way to frustrate us and make it tough for us to play. They did it up at their place very successfully and very well, and did it again here in the first half. I mean, we were a bit flat, but I'm not going to say that was the cause of our problems.
Right.
A lot of the cause of our problems was how Urbana pressed.
Right.
And they're a good young team, and I got to give them all the credit for that. In the second half, I think really what changed it all was that really it took 10, 15 minutes to get that goal, but that goal opened things up. And it was a great ball by Paul in over the top into the backside. Their keeper came out and didn't get to it, and Matthew did a great job of just putting that away. And once you go up on a team, it changes what they have to do a little bit. Now, not so much because what they were doing actually fit what they were going to need to do, and that is get forward, and try to pin us in and get a goal out of it. But that still changes things a little bit. They'll be willing to take a few more chances in the back, and that opened it up for us. And then really Paul putting that second goal in. I think you saw body language change in their players. I mean, ours changed when we scored the first goal. We started to play with a lot more energy. Did we still have trouble with what they were doing? Yeah, a little bit, but our energy changed for the positive after the first goal, and then certainly with the second goal, our energy changed again and lifted again. And I think I saw just a little bit of body language from them. Urbana kind of saying, okay, now this is going to be harder to get back to. So really, scoring a goal can make a huge difference in a game, and that's why it's so critical, and why coaches are always, so focused on making sure that chances are created in fair ways and not given away.
Right. That's what I was going to say. You kind of answered my question already, but it seems like in this game of soccer, when you get that first goal, it just changes things. And like I said, you kind of answered the question, but from the youth level all the way up to NCAA, it seems like that first goal just changes everything.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that it's going to last for a game, because there's been games when teams have gone ahead and then not been able to hold on. But I think what happens is whatever's going on in the game, and it can be a lot of different things. A goal changes the the dynamic of it. Now you've got a team that's chasing the game a little bit more, or you've got a team that's either trying to add to that or feels more confident, or you've got a team that is now trying to learn how to hold on to that lead. And so a lot of things change attitudinally with the players, and certainly tactically some things can change. We didn't. We just wanted to continue to go forward because that's what we do best. We don't do a good job sitting in and trying to defend. That's not us. So, when we got that first one, it was just more like, look, let's just continue because that's our best, way of trying to preserve the game is by trying to score another and going forward. So, but yeah, it does change things.
And I love the third goal. I mean, it was really icing on the cake at that point. Scored, I think, with 3.5 minutes left. But Guillermo had the keeper one-on-one. Probably could have put a shot to the far post and scored. Instead, he taps it across over to Luca, who just wide open net and puts away really unselfish play on that third goal. And it was just a fun goal to watch.
And we need that, to be honest, because you've got to have unselfish play, and it doesn't matter who scores. As long as the team gets that, and yeah, he did a great job. Actually, when he came in, to get 2 assists, in his play, really, made a difference for us because it needs to be about whoever is in the right spot at the right time, and he did a great job of finding people twice.
Looking ahead now, you got a rematch with Charleston. They just, I don't want to say they disposed of. They beat Notre Dame on penalty kicks in a game that really could have went either way, but they outlasted Notre Dame. You beat Urbana, and now you head down there Sunday for a 3 p.m. kick. What's the mindset going into that?
Mindset is still they're the top team in the country. They haven't lost yet this season. It's a huge mountain to climb. Are we capable of it? We believe so, and if your team believes, then you've got a chance. And I think they believe because of the performances that we've had this year. But again, it's still a huge mountain to climb. They're ranked number 1 in the country for a reason, and they haven't lost a game all season. So it would be outstanding for us to go down there and be able to take that game from them. And we're going to go down there with the intent of giving them everything we have, and I'm sure they know that. And they'll be at their best too, because they've been there before. They know what this is about. I don't see any let down. So really, in the end, I hope that a great game is played, and that in the end, the winner is decided by good play rather than some fluke or mistake or any other thing that can go on in the game.
Let me just ask you. They won on penalty kicks. What's your opinion on penalty kicks? I mean, I know after 2 overtimes you got to have a winner somehow, but what's your mentality when it coming down when 2 teams battle for 110 minutes and it comes down to something like PKs?
I think you need to do that because I've been a part of Indiana University's program, and IU is well known as one of the teams that went through a 7 overtime NCAA final. And that just is it's not good for the athletes, especially when they have to continue to play. So while it may not be the best scenario to an ending of a match, I think in the for the well-being of the student athletes, you've got to have it decided a certain way, and it's been that way for a long time. And no one likes to see it happen that way, but it really is at this point, the best solution that anyone's been able to come up with to take care of that, based on student athletes having to still play. So.
All right. We just went through this, but we've only got 90 seconds left. We haven't even touched on the MEC. You were named the MEC Coach of the Year, so congratulations on that. Making first team was Josh Spencer, Kevin Yamby, Paul Smith, Joan Akintunde. I know Akintunde you guys were hopeful maybe he could get Player of the Year. It didn't work out that way, but quickly talk about the MEC representation this year.
Very happy with what we got. Certainly would love to have seen either Paul or Juwan get offensive or defensive honors. I'd trade in the Coach of the Year award for that in a heartbeat, because I think both those guys played and had great seasons. And my award is really based on what all the players do and what the assistants do too. So happy to have it, but would have been much happier to see those guys get recognized, because I think they were 2 of the top players in the entire conference all year. But very pleased with our representation. I think it's well deserved for all of our guys that made first, second, honorable mention, and even Kaz on the freshman team. Right.
I could probably talk to you about 10 more minutes about just everything going on here, but we've got about 15 seconds left. So congratulations on the success of making it to the MEC Championships and all the MEC honors, and best of luck Sunday. the women play here at 1, but as soon as that's done, I know I'm going to be flipping on the live stats and live stream down there and rooting you guys on from up here.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So good, best of luck down there, and I wish your team all the best. So Bobcat Nation, I hope you enjoyed until we check back in a couple weeks with Gavin. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.